That sounds right.
You just pull it forward. Now, see?
Hello. I am Shaman. Let us all take a breath. Failure. How does it feel when you hear the word failure? Just internalize that. Success. That feels pretty good. Though, I hear a lot of musicians in here. Did anybody ever pick up an instrument for the first time? Or sing for the first time? Or dance for the first time and be an absolute success? We probably all failed a lot. In failure is the absolute necessity to experience success. So if while we are failing, because we fail every day, this day will end and a new day will begin, a new success. Or new failure. But as long as you fail with grace, sometimes people fall down on their ice skating and we go, oh, is that what they need? No. We all want to be inspired. Say we go to the gym to lift some weights. Do we suddenly just get strong? It's the act of, let's say, a squat. You get down here, and you have to go through the journey to get up here. The muscle must fail in order to become stronger and succeed in strength. With that, I'm just going to go back to the breath for a moment. You take a deep breath in order to let it go so that you can take another breath. I feel in this moment, I am failing. This doesn't really feel good to me right now. I feel like I'm not really expressing myself well. So I'm going to go in another direction here. Someone says, hey, how are you doing? A lot of times we hear, oh, I'm not bad. And every now and then we hear someone say, I'm pretty good. I feel the first one is a form of failure. Because not only did someone say two negatives, not and bad, neither one of those feel good, they also didn't even answer the question. How are you doing? I'm pretty good. Wow, not only did we answer the question, we got to say pretty and good. Oftentimes, especially in music, I hear a lot of people sing about the things that they don't really want. Oh, don't do this and don't do that. And often, we are focusing on what we don't want, which means we are attracting and keeping in our focus what we really don't want. Let's sing a song about what we do want. Because oftentimes, when we're thinking about what we don't want, we're turning away from. What are we turning toward? We're always thinking about what we're turning away from, which means we're distancing ourselves, which we're aware of what we're distancing ourselves from. So it's actually a plan to not do that anymore. So we're planning for what we don't want, to make sure that we don't get what we don't want. But that's what's in our mind. Let's find what we want to turn toward. For instance, we have this amazing thing called the prefrontal cortex. It's the newest part of our brain. It allows us to do something that no other animal does. All animals are very present. To give you an idea how present, say, a mama grizzly bear is. A mama grizzly bear, and this is a fact, will do everything she can to guard her young. But when she knows there's nothing more to do, something else kills them, if it gets to that point, hopefully that doesn't, within 30 seconds to 2 minutes, the realization of the utter moment of now comes in, and she realizes those are no longer her young. They're now food, and food is scarce, especially for a creature that big, so she devours those. She devours the moment, and then carries on with the now, her life now. With that being said, imagine all of you with this amazing thing that is your imagination. So many of us get lost in what can no longer be changed of our past. Or we're planning so much for a future. Oh, I'll be happy when. Which means I'm not happy now. And our bodies are amazing. We have these chemicals running through us. Let's say dynorphin. Does anyone know what dynorphin is? Raise your hands. See? We're so busy concentrating on endorphin. Endorphins make us feel good. But we need dynorphin so that we have a balance. Dynorphin allows you to feel stress. So imagine the best you. Go into your imagination. A lot of us aren't necessarily completely happy with what we are, which is why we keep playing the instrument, keep tuning our voice. We keep tuning all these things around us. Let's tune this vessel that we express ourselves in. So imagine the best you, 6 months, a year, 2 years, 5 years, however long it takes. Then move in your imagination to the person that you think that you're imagining, this creation. Look in the phone of that being. Do the people in that contact list support that version of you? Look in the refrigerator of that being. Is that the things that person's building this vessel with? Look in the day. Do you watch the sunrise every day? What exercises are you doing? How much are you playing your instrument? And then do that now to the best of your ability. Don't wait till you look good enough to go to the gym. Go. Don't wait till you think you're fit enough to run. Do what you can now. Now. Because now is the only thing that exists. That's what this memory, or this brain is for, this prefrontal cortex. It allows us to move into our past enough to make now better. It allows us to desire a future that allows us to be present here now. The only thing that has ever existed is now. Be the best version of you now. I hear so much up here. And the one thing I heard was a little bit of failure, a little bit of, oh, that's okay, I'm sorry about that. I love that this room is so absolutely supportive of every single person that has gotten up here tonight. Because that is the first success of having enough confidence or willingness to fail in front of anyone. Because after all, this is simply a reflection of what's coming from here. And I so appreciate every single one of you for being here to allow me and everyone else to get up here and fail or succeed. The thing I will leave us with now is breathe. So many of us are breathing very shallow. And when we breathe with 100%, we alchemate our bodies and allow everything to flow much better. Tonight I've got to say, I have no idea why, I feel this is the absolute pinnacle of the worst speech I've ever given. Though, I kind of designed it that way on purpose because I felt there was a little bit of frustration mixed up with microphones, mixed up with instruments. Brooke, water. I heard you speaking earlier. You're flowing nicely. You get up here, there's a little this, a little of that. I love seeing failure and then getting up and knowing I can fail a little bit too and not have to prove that I'm a little better or a little worse. Thank you so much for being here. Namaste, and I'm going to leave us with this. Let's take another breath, and if you choose to, close your eyes and just feel this. The joy that you feel when you're doing your best, make sure that that surrounds you when you fail in your best, because your best failure is what you're building your successes on. Be happy with them, and you'll notice you fail a lot less and succeed a lot more.
I'm not even trying to stick this back in the stand, so I'm going to let someone grab that.